What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. I got a question for you. Star Wars Episode 9, The Knights of Ren. What kind of ring does that have to you? Do you think that could work? Star Wars Episode 9, The Knights of Ren. According to this guy, Alan Orange, over at MovieWeb.com, this title makes a whole lot of sense for Star Wars Episode 9. I disagree, and it's because this article showed up right as I was kind of sitting in my desk reading up on the Knights of Ren. But I'm going to share his thoughts before I tell you why I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think that this is going to go the way you think, Alan. But he says that the Knights of Ren is a front runner for the title. It makes a lot of sense. It teases that we'll finally get to see Kylo's Knights of Ren in action, as they play an important role in the storyline after having been left out of the previous film. And it's a play on words that suggests this is Ren's big night, his time to shine. He is one of the last remaining from the Skywalker bloodline, after all. Now, of course, he goes on to say that the previous titles have all kind of been a play on what the movie's really about, and they've always been taken from statements that Snoke has made, right? The Force there's been an awakening. Have you seen it? The Force Awakens, right? Snoke said that, Luke Skywalker is the last Jedi. We get Episode 8, The Last Jedi, right? Is this going to be the Master of the Knights of Ren? Is this going to be based on something that Snoke said in the title? We'll have to wait and see. Alan goes on to say everything about Star Wars 9 remains a mystery at the moment. There are a few sparse details, but nothing substantial in way of the plot. In the early days, George Lucas opted for pulp-type titles for his two trilogies. We can expect Star Wars 9 to have a title that falls in line. Some are hoping that the title is simply Star Wars Episode 9, The End, but that doesn't really fall in line with the franchise's path, right? It's the end of the Skywalker saga. We know that there's going to be lots more Star Wars. Next year, there's going to be Star Wars everywhere, right? With the Episode 9, with The Mandalorian, which could set up a whole other storyline. I think it's going to bleed in Episode 9, but I also feel that it's going to explode the galaxy. The same way we're wondering where Ahsoka and Ezra are, and people have been asking me, Prince, do you think that Ezra and Ahsoka are going to show up in Episode 9? No. Ezra's an exiled Jedi. He's a Jedi in exile, right? And he may have decided to become something else, right? So no, they don't need to come back. Let's find out what happens to the former Jedi, the formerly known as Jedi Order, right? And that really touches on, I said all of that because that touches on why I don't think that this is popular, right? But he insists the Knights of Ren seems like a popular choice, and it hones in on the mysterious Knights of Ren, who were only seen in Rey's Force-back vision after she touched the Skywalker lightsaber. They're mentioned by Snoke in The Force Awakens. Then he goes on, I'm just going to jump to the end, that Rian Johnson didn't touch on them at all, and it was kind of left untouched, untalked about. Some people had an issue with that. Rian Johnson touched on it. This is something that I said going into The Last Jedi. You don't want to get in a situation where you're trying to tell too many things. Alan could have done a little bit of research here, because he talks about the backstory is up for question. It's questionable. That is not true, right? Just hopping on Wikipedia would help a lot, because that's what I was doing. I was on Wikipedia, and then I was trying to check sources in The Last Jedi and the visual guides. Because it's like, hey man, I want to know, are people just making this stuff up, or where are they getting this information from, right? And there's one thing that I'm going to have to sit down and read The Last Jedi expanded edition, the novel, to find out where they got this information from. But there is a backstory for the Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren have a backstory. I recall JJ saying last year sometime that he would totally love to do a movie about the Knights of Ren, right? I've even said something that's incorrect. I said that the Knights of Ren make up the mystical branch of the First Order. That is not true. Kylo Ren, as the Master of Knights of Ren, makes up the mystical branch of the First Order. the Knights of Ren don't even belong to the First Order. They are a separate branch of dark side Force users. And if you go back to a video that I did 2 years ago when I said, hey, is Snoke the first Knight of Ren? I think I titled it Star Killer, the first Knights of Ren, or something like that, you know, to kind of attract people, you know, and then I basically say, oh, the Star Killer person is Snoke. That gets into even more stuff about how, like, at one point in time, Kylo Ren was going to be called the Star Killer because the Jedi Killer, the Star Killer base, those ideas, all of that started out as Star Killer base was going to be like Star Killer's base, and he literally lives off the Force. He eats stars. He kills them for survival, right? He is basically Darth Nihilus, right? He is a wound in the Force. He is a Force leech. So that's why I've been going so hard about Boo Fire's whole wound in the Force theory, because I'm like, if you did a little bit of research, you know, making the video attacking Rey got you clicks, but you were wrong. And in this day and age of Star Wars YouTubing, it's better to get a lot of views and a lot of clicks than it is to be right. I mean, look at my numbers. My numbers suck. I'm the worst Star Wars channel on YouTube, but I'm usually right. I'm just being honest. I know my haters are going to go and watch all my videos to point out all the times I was wrong about something. And I appreciate you for watching those old videos. And just doing a little bit of research would help out. Just like with this article, I don't think Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be Episode 9, The Knights of Ren. I think it could have something to do with Ben Solo. I'm not a fan of the Son of Darkness, but I feel like that's a better title than the Knights of Ren. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What do you think about the possibility of the Knights of Ren being introduced? I just feel like that's a bad idea. Honestly, reading this and doing the research that I've done, I don't even want to call it research. I was just messing around. But I think Rian Johnson, the movies that he's overseeing, that he's helping produce, we call it Rian Johnson's trilogy. He's only writing and producing the first one, and then he'll play a part. He might be writing the other two, but he's not directing them or any of that, right? He'll just be the guy, right? Going into this with a plan. Given the fact that that his story is going to deal with an unexplored part of space, characters we've never seen before, I think that could have something to do with the Knights of Ren. Other Force users, other dark side users who aren't Jedi, who aren't Sith, and it could be all about expanding the Force in ways we've never seen before. The Jedi didn't have a monopoly over the Force. There was these other people running around in the unknown regions, and Palpatine was focused on going out there and learning that, exploring that, making it his own, right? And Snoke had knowledge of that, and Snoke was out exploring and learning that. That's how Snoke ended up being the supreme leader, rising to the cream of the top. As the leader of the First Order, it was his knowledge of Palpatine's full contingency plan that got him where he was, and then made him half of the man that he previously was. So I don't know, man. I would rather see a whole new saga devoted to the Knights of Ren and their story than and I think that this could be a good way to introduce it. But it doesn't need to be about the Knights of Ren. Maybe my theory that the First Order is going to fracture and splinter is that Kylo Ren goes off and he's going to work with the Knights of Ren and vacate the First Order fractures, like I said. And Hux, who's a madman who believes that he should be the ruler, the supreme leader, the whatever, he ends up military genius, warlord, whatever, and Kylo Ren is off delving into the darker aspects of the Force, right? Because he believes that is how he wins, by becoming more powerful in the dark side of the Force. But I don't know. I will leave it up to you. What do you guys think about all of this? This whole the Knights of Ren being a big part of Episode 9. Like I said, I don't think it's good to introduce them here. Set it up. I won't say introduce. You can introduce them, but don't have that be a big part of the movie, right? So I don't think this prediction that Rey's going to kill all the Knights of Ren, I don't see that happening. I don't think the Knights of Ren work for Kylo Ren. They work with, based on what I've been reading today about them. But I'll leave it up to you. Let me know your thoughts. You know, if you have a different idea, different picture of how maybe you see this turning out with the Knights of Ren or without, I'd like to see it. So let's get this is just to get the discussion started. I want to see it continue down in the comments below. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story. Become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by checking out more videos on the channel. Also, remember to ring that bell for notifications so you know when I'm going live, because I'm hanging out talking Star Wars and playing Star Wars: The Old Republic with you guys. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing. May the force of others be with you always.